Have a very special episode, a brand new episode, what I would like to call audiobooks. Sunday night audiobooks. How about that? Just came to me one day. I thought it would be an amazing thing to do while everyone else is reacting to live videos. I'll be reacting to words on a page. That being said, the book today in chosen, John Gray's Straw Dogs, a look on human difference differences, illusions. Bear with me, I'm paraphrasing a paraphrase. John Gray argues that the belief in human differences, essentially, it's a book on the view on human beings and other animals. Literally says it on the title. Thoughts on humans and other animals. So I've always wanted to read this book. It's recommended to me by a good friend of mine on the internet, who thinks humans are all terrible. And I believe a large portion on his beliefs might be this book, and so I've been scared to read it, uh, with scared of the possibility of having the same views. But here we go. So according to Google, John Gray argues that the belief in human difference is a dangerous illusion and explores how the world and human life look once humanism has been finally abandoned. Interesting. The result is an exhilarating, sometimes disturbing book that leads the reader to question our deepest held beliefs. I don't know what those are. That's a vague statement right there. For me, that's a vague statement. But that being said, we're gonna just jump right into it. So, technically, this is not an audiobook. I got the PDF online, but I do have, not sponsored, but uh, I do have Natural Reader, so they can narrate the whole book, and you have to listen to my terrible reading. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna start off to the beginning, forward to the paperback edition. I'm gonna have to lower the music too. That was just for the intro. Maybe I'll leave it in the background, like as background music. No, it's just too exhilarating. We need something, I don't know, dramatic in the background. Sounds fine. All right, let's try it. Play.
Forward to the paperback edition.
All right, hopefully this
Straw
works.
Dogs is an attack on the unthinking beliefs of thinking people. Today,
That
liberal
music is
humanism
gonna
has the
distract me.
pervasive power that was once possessed by revealed religion. Humanists like to
All right, no music.
think they have a rational view of the world, but their core belief in progress is a superstition, further from the truth.
We gotta get it to the right speed. Hold on.
Belief in progress is a superstition, further from the truth.
Wait, what?
About the human animal.
Hold on. What did he just say? Beliefs of thinking people. Hold on. Straw Dogs is an attack on the unthinking beliefs of thinking people. What? Today's liberal humanism has the pervasive power has a pervasive power that once possessed by revealed religion. Humanists. Hold on. I'm gonna have to make chat just in. Humanists like to think that they have a rational view of the world, but their core beliefs in progression is a superstition. So from that sentence, I surmise that essentially what they're saying is that in spite of how much we think we've come, we haven't come really that far. Guessing? I mean, technologically, I guess The guys always still want to just, yeah. I mean, let's just keep reading.
About the human animal than any of the world's religions. Outside of science, progress is simply a myth. In some readers of Straw Dogs, this observation seems to have produced a moral panic. Surely, they ask, no one can question the central article of faith of liberal societies? Without it, will we not despair? Like trembling Victorians terrified of losing their faith, these humanists cling to the moth-eaten brocade
What kind of book is
of
this?
progressive hope. Today, religious believers are more free-thinking, driven to the margins of a culture in which science claims authority over all of human knowledge. They have had to cultivate a capacity for doubt. In
What?
contrast, secular believers, held fast by the conventional wisdom of the time, are in the grip of unexamined dogmas. The prevailing secular worldview is a pastiche of current scientific orthodoxy and pious hopes.
I don't know what's
Darwin
happening.
has shown that we are animals, but as humanists never tire of preaching how we live is up to us. Unlike any other animal,
I don't
we
think
are
this is the book yet.
11. Straw dogs.
Okay. I think we're getting
Told,
into it
we
now.
are free to live as we choose.
Yes, there
Yet
we
the
go.
idea of free will does not come from science. Its origins are in religion, not just any religion, but the Christian faith against which humanists rail so obsessively. In the ancient world, the Epicureans speculated about the possibility that some events may be uncaused, but the belief that humans are marked off from all other animals by having free will is a Christian inheritance. Darwin's theory would not have caused such a scandal had it been
What is
formulated
it
in Hindu,
saying? I gotta pause this.
India.
All right. We were told we live free, which, all right, I concur with this. We aren't technically free. We're literally confined to our homes. We're literally being confined in our homes as we speak. Yet the idea of free will does not come from science. Okay, sure. I mean, that's right. Science doesn't. No science. There is no scientific evidence that we have not ever lived in a society where there's not one totalitarian type of ruler. Guessing. I'm guessing. This is what I'm surmising from this book. Its origins are in religion. Really? Oh, interesting. Because of belief in one God. But no, there's. Hold on. Maybe that's not what they're getting at. Not just any religion, but Christian. Okay. Faith against which humanists rail so obsessively. Okay.
India, Taoist China, or animist Africa. Equally, it is only in post-Christian cultures that philosophers labor so piously to reconcile scientific determinism with a belief in the unique capacity of humans to choose the way they live. The irony
Meaning
of
the illusion of free
evangelical
will.
Darwinism is that it uses science to support a view of humanity that comes from religion. Some readers have seen Straw Dogs as an attempt to apply Darwinism to ethics and politics, but nowhere does it suggest that Darwinian orthodoxy contains the final account of the human animal. Instead, Darwinism is deployed strategically in order to break up the prevailing humanist worldview. Humanists turn to Darwin to support their shaky modern faith in progress, but there is no progress in the world he revealed. A truly naturalistic view of the world leaves no room for secular hope.
What does
Among
secular mean?
contemporary philosophers, it is a matter of pride to be ignorant of theology. As a result, the Christian origins of secular humanism are rarely understood. Yet they were perfectly
In contemporary
clear
English,
to its
secular is
founders.
primarily
In
used
the
to
early 19th century, the
distinguish something
French positivists, Henri
religious
Saint-Simon and
that
Auguste
is
Comte,
not specifically religious
12,
nature.
forward, invented the religion of humanity, a vision of a universal civilization based on science that is the prototype for the political religions of the 20th century. Through their impact on John Stuart Mill, they made liberalism
Where
the
are we?
secular
What,
creed it
did I
is
go too
today.
far?
Through their deep influence on
This is
Karl
going great,
Marx,
by the way.
they helped shape
It's the
scientific
first episode.
socialism.
Let's see. Let's keep going.
Ironically, for Saint Simon,
This is an
and
interesting
Kant were
concept.
fierce
We'll see.
critics of laissez faire economics. They also inspired the late 20th century cult of the global free market. I have told this paradoxical and often farcical story in my book, Al Qaeda and What It Means to Be Modern.
What?
Humanism is not science, but religion the post Christian. Faith that humans can make a world better than any in which they have so far lived. In pre Christian Europe, it was taken for.
Oh, that's it? We reached our limit? That's as long as you can go. Maybe I should read it then. Natural Reader sucks. No offense. It's good to listen to, but it's just the tempo is just throwing me off. All right, you know what? I'm gonna read it. That's gonna be the Sunday audiobooks. All right. Um, for the religious story. Far as I can take from this book, it seems like it's an anti um religious book, and it's speaking in regards to certain aspects of how people think that there is free will when there's not really free will. Um, and it's pointing out the fact that I'm guessing religious people are sort of more um, into that thought process, which they think everything is like you you're because the whole thing with religion is that you're choosing to be this spiritual person. Um, you know what? We're not even gonna go there. Do there. Blah, blah, blah. I need to read. What should I do? Can I do this? If I did this. No, it looks stupid. Okay. Why don't I go to my reaction screen? There we go. That's better, right? Okay. Where were we? All right. So I don't know. Straw dogs. Living standards then in the past. At the same time, it allows us to wreak destruction on each other and the earth on a larger scale than ever before. The idea of progress rests on the belief that the growth of knowledge and advance of the species go together. Growth of knowledge and species go together. If not now, then in the long run, right? Okay, I get it. The biblical myth of the fall of man contains the forbidden truth. Knowledge does not make us free. It leaves us as we have always been, prey to everything, every kind of folly. The same truth is found in Greek myth. The punishment of Prometheus, chained to a rock for stealing fire from the gods, was not unjust. That was loaded. Okay. The biblical myth of the fall. The biblical myth of the fall of man contains the forbidden truth. Knowledge does not make us free. Okay. It leaves us, as we always been, prey to every kind of folly. The same truth is found in Greek myth when the punishment of Prometheus chained to a rock for stealing. Okay, so what I'm guessing they're trying to get at here is essentially all of us are led to believe the same thing. If we ever challenge God or a higher power, we will all fall subject to the same punishment as, say, Prometheus, or in the case of um, yes, Jesus would be the cross. I get it. So essentially, it's just subconsciously teaching the reader or the follower to act a certain way when it comes to a supreme ruler. Essentially, making us more servient. Ah, that's interesting. Okay. All right, we're getting somewhere. If the hope of progress is an illusion, how, it will be asked, are we to live? The question assumes that humans can live well only if they believe that they have the power to remake the world, which we do. You know what I mean? Like if we enough of us get together, we could. It's just we don't. So the hope of progress is an illusion. Is an illusion. Oh no, we've progressed a lot. People aren't saying things that they shouldn't be saying. Doing the. I mean, we're not. It's not like the black the Dark Ages. I was gonna say the Black Plague. It wasn't like the time of the Black Plague where um you can literally be murdered or killed everywhere you went. I don't know. Yet most humans who have ever lived have not believed this, and a great many have had happy lives. The questions assumes that the aim of life is action, but this is a modern heresy. For Plato, the contemplation was the highest form of human activity. A similar view existed in ancient India. The aim of life was not to change the world, it was to see it rightly. Okay. Today is a subversive truth, for it entails the vanity of politics. Good politics is shabby and makeshift. Really? I didn't just do that on camera. But at the start of the 21st century, the world is strewn with the grandiose ruins of failed utopias. Ooh, shit! Shots fired. Um, with the left moribund and the right has become the home of the utopian imagination. Ooh, what does that mean? What does moribund mean? Una minuto. I should have some sort of music in the background, right? Yeah. Okay, that's a vibe. What was the word? Moribund. Moribund. At the point of death. With the left at the point of death, and the right has become the home of the utopian imagination. What does that mean? Global communism has been followed by global capitalism. What is this book? Is this book gonna put me on some sort of list, Widow? The two visions of the future have much in common, but both are hideous and fortunately chimerical. What does chimerical mean? Oh my goodness. Smart people learn how to communicate. Formed from parts of various animals. So two visions of the future, much in common. Both are hideous and fortunately formed from parts of various animals. So if I can break that down, they're saying both the left and the right, which when it comes to political parties, have the same vision for the future, but both are hideous and fortunately made from parts of other animals. If I can, I guess, interpret that, it's saying that everyone's pulling from something else and they're putting it all together and creating some sort of um, rendition of what they think the future should be. Furthermore, political action has come to be a surrogate for salvation, but no political project can deliver humanity from its natural condition. However, radical political programs are expedients, modest devices for coping with recurring evils. Hegel writes somewhere that humanity will be content only when it lives in a world of its own making. In contrast, that's way too complex of a sentence, man. You gotta work with me here, buddy. Political actions has come to be a surrogate for salvation, but no political project can deliver humanity from its natural condition. Right, because we're all meant to be predatorial to each other, and half of us know that we have to be predatorial amongst each other, and the other half is unaware. If you get what I'm trying to say, and so then it leads like a small portion of the population that knows that everyone else is being preyed upon and doesn't get preyed upon themselves. You know what I mean? Uh, However, radical political programs are expedients. Expedients. What does that mean? Means attaining an end. Oh, so like any radical political programs, any programs that will push the will push the evolution of society is dying. It's a very morbid book so far. In contrast, Straw Dogs argued for a shift from human solipsism. You gotta be kidding me with these words. Solipsism, the quality of being very self-centered or selfish. So in contrast, Straw Dogs argue for a shift of being selfish. We're already in a solipsism. How do you say these words?
Solipsism.
Solipsism. Thank you. We're already in a solipsism society. Everyone is out for themselves. Everyone, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Everyone, there's a 10% chance of a person just being genuinely nice, and if they are out there, they're constantly being manipulated and chastised for being good. I can guarantee you. We're already in solipsism.
Solipsism.
Thank you. Where's my rim shot? Okay, here we go. Heigl writes, somewhere in humanity will be the content only when it lives in contrast. Humans cannot save the world, but this is no reason for despair. It does not need saving. Happily, humans will never live in a world they're making. This book came out 20 years ago. Holy shoot. All right, The Human. All religions nearly are philosophies. Okay, yeah. And even a part of science testify to the unwearying, horrific effort of mankind desperately denying its constituencies. Science versus humanism. Most people today think that they belong to a species that can be master of its destiny. Maybe. I can see that with a lot of work. This is faith, not science. I mean, if you implement incremental policies that if you increment policies that make incremental changes in society, yes. We do not speak of a time when whales or gorillas will be masters of the of their destinies. Why then humans? You don't know that. I saw a movie called Planet of the Apes, and come on. I mean, say humans died off. You think it would have just been like, you know, I guess it would have just been all the animals living in jungles. Nobody would ever seek shelter. Is that the only difference? That we seek shelter? We know how to make assembly lines? I don't know. We do not need Darwin to see that we belong with other animals. A little observation of our lives soon leads to the same conclusion. Still, since science has today an authority that common experience cannot rival, let us note that Darwin teaches that species are only assemblies of genes. Maybe. Well, like, what does that mean? Interacting at random with each other and their shifting environments. Species cannot control their fates. Species do not exist. This applies equally to humans, yet it is forgotten whenever people talk of the progress of mankind. They have put their faith in an abstraction that no one would think of taking seriously if they were not formed from cast off Christian hopes. If Darwin discovers that they have been in a Taoist or Shinto Hindu animal culture, it would be very likely have become just one more strand in its intertwining mythologies. Taoist. I'm guessing this is a type of religion. So, okay, so what it's saying is, if Darwin's discovery had been made, that means straw dogs. In these faith, humans and other animals are kin. By contrasting arising among Christians who set humans beyond all other living things, it triggered a bitter controversy that rages on to this day. You know, I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, imagine if like the world, instead of Christianity, Hinduism was just the religion. Like, what would have been like the history of hamburgers? Like, would McDonald's would McDonald's even be a thing? Would there have been like a different McDonald's and they had served curry instead of like and rice instead of like burgers and fries? That's interesting. Who set humans beyond all other living things? It triggered a bitter controversy. It triggered a bitter controversy that rages on to this day. I can agree with that. In Victorian times, this was a conflict between Christians and unbelievers. Today, it is waged between humanists and the few who understand that humans can no more be masters of their destiny than any other animal. Holy shit. What do you mean? Because, I mean, we came a long way. I mean, when we start flying around in cars, you know what I mean? Unless it's talking about like a society that we're so ahead of our time and we create like these amazing feats of like war, like these missiles that like literally obliterate half of a planet, and then we just scorch ourselves from existence. Unless that's what it's talking about. Because if that's our destiny, right? If that's what it's trying to say, like, okay, humans are predisposed to living the same cycle over and over again. Is like they advance all the way to their extreme technologic state, and then you know burn themselves back to sticks and stones, and then they continue the same cycle. If that's what you're talking about, I could see that. But I mean, we're going somewhere, I believe. I hope. Oh, but that's what this book is trying to say. Is like there's no sense of hoping. It's not. We're probably gonna just repeat the same cycle. No one's gonna come along to correct us. And that's terrible. I know it's terrible, but it's trying to be realistic. And that's what it's trying to. I'm guessing that's what the book's trying to be. It's just like a realism. I brought the fire background today. Huh. All right. We're gonna go back into it. Bear with me. Experiencing some technical difficulties. Not necessarily. It's like I'm using this moment to indulge myself in the finer things. Okay, back to it. Humanism can mean anything, many things, but for us it means belief in progress. To believe that in progress is to believe that by using the new powers given us by growing scientific knowledge, humans can free themselves from the limits that frame the lives of other animals. Meaning that we will surpass our urges to like just fucking eat. This is the hope that of nearly everybody nowadays, but it is groundless. For though human knowledge will very likely continue to grow, and with it, human power and human animal will stay the same. A highly inventive species that is also one of the most predatory and destructive. Humans. Darwin showed that humans are like other animals. Humanists claim they are not. Humanists insist that by using our knowledge, we can control our environment and flourish as never before. I absolutely agree with that. But Darwin says otherwise. They says, listen, whoever's the biggest and the baddest is going to be who's going to control the world. The smartest are showing us that that is not true. But then, okay, fine. Then it's like, let's say it's just evolution, right? So the smartest is just the one that was supposed to be um, on top of the food chain. Don't you think that they would be able to, using their superior intellect, come up with laws and preventative measures and policies that can prevent us from going back into just doing things? Like, that's why laws are being placed. Like, before, at least in certain states here, you were allowed to, assault your significant other as long as the object you used was no wider than your thumb or a stick. That's why they refer to it rule of thumb, right? And so, we set laws say, you know what? No, you can't. You shouldn't be assaulting your wife with anything. It's illegal completely. And so, 20 years ago, it might have been okay to do this, but it's not anymore, right? So that's why we have to believe that we're going somewhere, because we keep learning and writing laws. But if you're saying that we're going to do as best we can and get to the certain point, we're just going to blow each other up and then go back to sticks and stones, yeah, maybe. In affirming this, they renew one of Christianity's most dubious promises, that salvation is open to all. It could. Salvation. But what do you mean by salvation? What does that salvation mean? Preservation or deliverance from harm or loss. Yeah, absolutely. So what you're saying, what this book could say is that you're not going to be able to prevent yourself from dying ever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just something that's never going to go away. So you're never going to come up with a society where no one dies. No, but you could create a society where nobody hurts each other, when everyone knows what they're doing and why they're doing it is so harmful or toxic. Or I feel like this was a very astute observation on the time that this book was written, but I don't think it's our reality. At least not anymore. Oh, who knows? Things are popping off right now. We could go back into sticks and stones very soon. The salvation is open to all. The humanist belief in progress is only in secular versions of the Christian faith. In the world shown us by Darwin, there is nothing that can be called progress. To anyone reared on humanist hopes, this is intolerable. As a result, Darwin's teachings that can be stood on its head, and Christianity's cardinal error that humans are different from any or all other animals, has been given a new lease on life. Chapter 2. Alright, how much time have we been streaming so far? 34 minutes. Alright, well, maybe we could do that, just like a chapter every Sunday. I don't know. This was a thought experiment, and we're going to see what we're going to do with it. The text, just the text, is kind of like, I don't know. Maybe I can add some, like, lights or something. So it's not just book, the background. We'll see. Anyways, all right, so that's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you have been watching, as always,